16th of March every year, India observes National Vaccination Day, also known as Immunisation Day. It was on this day back in 1995 that the first dose of oral polio vaccine was given in India. The initiative to eradicate polio from the country came in the form of the Pulse Polio campaign launched by the government. Under this extensive drive, 2 drops of oral polio vaccine was given to all children younger than 5 years of age. The last reported case of polio in India was in the state of West Bengal in January 2011. And in 2014, India was declared polio-free. Over the years, immunization has proved to be the most vital tool in controlling and eliminating life-threatening infectious diseases. On this edition of In Depth, we'll talk about the significance of immunization in detail, the relevance and purpose of Vaccination Day, and the various immunization programs underway in the country. We'll also give you a brief history of when and how the first immunization program was launched in India. Vaccination protects children from serious illnesses and complications of vaccine-preventable diseases. It was due to an aggressive vaccination campaign against polio that India was declared free of the disease in March 2014. In this report, let's understand the importance of vaccination and what does the National Vaccination Day signify. Vaccination is the most effective method of preventing highly infectious diseases. Extensive immunity due to vaccination is mostly responsible for the worldwide eradication of smallpox and the restraint of diseases like polio, measles, and tetanus from a large amount of the world. According to the World Health Organization, immunization is a proven tool for controlling and eliminating life-threatening infectious diseases. It is estimated to avert between 2 to 3 million deaths every year. In India, the National Vaccination Day, also known as the National Immunization Day, is observed on the 16th of March every year. The day was first observed in 1995 when the first dose of oral polio vaccine was given. Since then, the day is marked every year to enhance the awareness of the eradication of polio. India committed to the resolution passed by the World Health Assembly for global polio eradication in 1988. The last case of fresh polio patients in India was reported on the 13th of January 2011. On 27th March 2014, India was certified a polio-free country.
India has already been declared polio-free. Earlier, smallpox was eradicated from the world. So, eradication of polio is a big achievement. You can say it is an achievement of the century. But still, India is at risk because of the neighboring countries. So we are keeping regular surveillance and monitoring, and we are celebrating immunization days and also giving pulse polio rounds several times in a year.
India has one of the biggest universal immunization programs in the world in terms of the number of beneficiaries covered, quantities of vaccines used, geographical spread, and human resources involved. Our universal immunization program is one of the largest public health programs, targeting close to 2.67 crore newborns and 2.9 crore pregnant women annually. It is also one of the most cost-effective public health interventions and largely responsible for the reduction of vaccine-preventable under 5 mortality rate. Under UIP, immunization is providing free-of-cost vaccination against 12 vaccine-preventable diseases, nationally against 9 diseases that include diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, polio, measles, rubella, severe form of childhood tuberculosis, hepatitis B, and meningitis and pneumonia caused by Haemophilus influenza type B. And subnationally against 3 diseases, rotavirus diarrhea, pneumococcal pneumonia, and Japanese encephalitis. The 2 major milestones of UIP have been the elimination of polio in 2014 and maternal and neonatal tetanus elimination in 2015.
Whenever you're looking at public health and whenever you're looking at the vaccine preventable disease, there are two things that has to be kept in mind. Any vaccine preventable disease has to be a matter of public health. That means a large number of population are getting affected with those diseases, and that's what the vaccine comes into the public health. When we started our journey in 1985, we had 6 vaccine preventable diseases for which we are providing vaccines. Today we are providing vaccine against 12 vaccine preventable disease. The recent addition was rotavirus. It is for the rotavirus diarrhea. We have added pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. It is for the pneumonia due to the pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. We have added Hib as a part of pentavalent, which is again preventing the pneumonia due to Hib or meningitis. We have added rubella vaccines. We have added your JE vaccines. So we have tuberculosis, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus. So we had BCG. So these are all these vaccines are there which are a part of the program.
To increase immunization coverage, free vaccination is carried out in the entire country, including tribal and remote areas. Special immunization drives like Mission Indradhanush, Intensified Mission Indradhanush, Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, Extended Gram Swaraj Abhiyan have been conducted to reach left out and hard to reach children living in remote and inaccessible geographical areas, including forested and tribal areas. Besides, several other steps are also undertaken to strengthen routine immunization and ensure a robust supply chain management system. Some of the new vaccines introduced by India over the years include the inactivated polio vaccine, rotavirus vaccine, measles rubella vaccine, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, and tetanus and adult diphtheria vaccine. With inputs from Anu Diwan, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
So one of the most successful immunization initiatives in India has been the success of the Pulse Polio campaign. Acclaimed globally, the Pulse Polio immunization program was launched in the year 1994 to provide vaccination to all children below the age of 5. Here's a look at how India, once a polio endemic country, has now become a polio-free country through sheer effort of lakhs of committed people.
दो बूंद जिंदगी के
In 1988, the World Health Organization started an initiative to eradicate polio across the world. The Indian government launched its own Pulse Polio campaign on October 2, 1994, when 12 lakh children through 4,000 polio centers in Delhi were given polio vaccination drops. The success of the initiative led to a countrywide Pulse Polio program movement in 1995. The objective was to achieve 100% coverage of the oral polio vaccine. Simultaneously, the government started campaigns to educate and spread awareness about the benefits of immunization. In 1995, there were an estimated 1.5 lakh polio cases in the country. A team of about 23 lakh polio assistants was prepared across the country to deal with the disease. Nearly 33,000 surveillance centers were built and a door-to-door campaign to feed polio drops to children below 5 years started. Initially, there was no significant impact. People hesitated to give polio drops in view of superstitions that polio vaccine causes impotence and infertility. In 2001, a large-scale awareness campaign was launched in western Uttar Pradesh, but in 2002, polio cases across the country started to increase. By 2004, only 4 countries remained polio endemic, including India, Pakistan, Nigeria, and Afghanistan. In view of the seriousness of the situation, the government, with the help of the World Health Organization, revived the polio campaign on a bigger scale. The goal was set to give polio drops to 8 crore children. The renewed campaign led to a huge decline in polio cases across the nation. During 2009, 741 cases of polio virus were reported in India, almost half of the cases reported worldwide that year. However, by then it was clear India will become polio-free in the coming few years.
See, polio program that we started, Pulse Polio program in 1995. But polio vaccination we started right in 1978. Then we had the extended program of immunization. Then we had universal immunization program, which was in 1985. At the World Health Assembly of 1988, decision was taken to eradicate polio, and that's where the special efforts have been made by different countries, and India started its journey of eradicating polio through Pulse Polio program in 1995. The journey was, I would say, we learned over the period. We were vaccinating 0 to 3 years old children. We started then increasing the age group to 0 to 5 years. We were doing initially only the booth activities. Later on, we added the house-to-house activity because we were seeing a lot of children were missed out, and that's where we started.
In the next 2 years, India achieved unprecedented success in eradicating polio. Polio was almost eradicated from India by 2011 with the help of 2.3 million polio assistants involved in the campaign. The last case of polio in India was reported on 13 January 2011 in West Bengal. Since then, no case of polio has been reported in India. In 2012, the World Health Organization certified India polio-free. On 11th February 2014, India completed 3 full years without reporting any case of polio and celebrated the victory over polio. The polio vaccination campaign was one of the largest and longest campaigns against a single disease. Institutions like Ministry of Health, World Health Organization, UNICEF and Rotary International played an important role in its elimination. Several artists, sportsmen and celebrities also promoted the campaign through various awareness programs. The slogan, 2 drops of polio saves life, also helped in motivating parents to take their children to polio booths. Several social organizations and activists at the local level also played an important role in the eradication of polio. The government launched Mission Indradhanush campaign under universal immunization on the 25th of December 2014 for better health of children and mothers who are deprived of vaccinations. The main goal is to vaccinate children who are not vaccinated by 2020. Vaccines were given to prevent 7 diseases including diphtheria, mucus, tetanus, polio, measles and hepatitis B. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And let's now talk about the various immunization programs underway in India. Mission Indradhanush and related programs have successfully reached out and vaccinated at least 3.6 crore children and 91 lakh pregnant women across the country. The mission that follows the best practices and systems established by the Pulse Polio program was first launched on the 25th of December 2014. The Indradhanush mission covers vaccines for 12 vaccine-preventable diseases, 8 nationally, 2 each in selected states and districts. The intensified Mission Indradhanush was launched with the intention of further intensifying the immunization program. So let's try and understand the goals behind the program and the success it has achieved.
Mission Indradhanush was launched by the government on 25th December 2014. The scheme seeks 90% immunization coverage of India and sustain the same by year 2020. Under the mission, vaccination is being provided against 8 vaccine-preventable diseases nationally: diphtheria, whooping cough, tetanus, polio, measles, severe form of childhood tuberculosis, hepatitis B and meningitis, pneumonia and Haemophilus influenza type B in selected states, and rotavirus diarrhea and Japanese encephalitis in selected districts. The first phase of the mission covered 201 districts across the country. Of these, 82 districts were in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. Overall, the 201 selected districts had nearly 50% of all unvaccinated children in the country. The mission follows the planning and administration flow of the Pulse Polio immunization program.
Actually, the Mission Indradhanush was launched in December 2014, and now we are running Mission Indradhanush 2. This is to strengthen our routine immunization, and this is from March this year to April this year to March next year, and we aim to cover more than 90% immunization of the children. There are 12 diseases. To name a few, diphtheria, pertussis, poliomyelitis. Polio is a big junk, already declared. Then measles, rubella, even MR. There is an intensive phase going up on MR vaccination. Then diarrhea, particularly rotavirus diarrhea, which is very dangerous in children, that can cause dehydration and death.
Mission Indradhanush was launched to accelerate the process of immunization by covering 5% and more children every year, with the target of achieving full coverage by 2020. By 2020, the mission aimed to cover all those children who are either unvaccinated or are partially vaccinated against vaccine-preventable diseases. The intensified Mission Indradhanush was launched in October 2017 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It aimed to further intensify the immunization program. Through the program, the government aimed to reach each and every child of up to 2 years of age and all those pregnant women who have been left uncovered under the routine immunization program or the universal immunization program. The special drive focused on improving immunization coverage in select districts and cities to ensure full immunization to more than 90% by December 2018. With the launch of IMI, achievement of the target was advanced. A total of 8 phases of Mission Indradhanush have been carried out, covering 680 districts across all 36 states and union territories. During these 8 phases of Mission Indradhanush, a total of 3.39 crore children and 87.18 lakh pregnant women were vaccinated as on 28 March 2019. Under IMI 2.0 that has been launched on December 2nd, immunization activity will be in 4 rounds over 7 working days, excluding the RI days, Sundays and holidays. There is an enhanced immunization session with flexible timing, mobile session and mobilization by other departments. There is also an increased focus on left-outs, dropouts and resistant families and hard-to-reach areas, and a focus on urban, underserved population and tribal areas. The mission will also see greater interministerial and interdepartmental coordination and an enhanced political, administrative and financial commitment through advocacy.
The purpose of Mission Indradhanush is very simple, that those children who has missed out vaccination wherever they are, we try to identify them and we try to see that we are able to reach to them, because at the end of the day, these are vaccine preventable diseases. The benefits the community will get it only when they are vaccinated. Mother's immunization has been also a part of the National Immunization Program, and we were earlier providing tetanus toxoid to pregnant mothers, but today we are also providing tetanus toxoid along with diphtheria. So it's a TD vaccine which we give to the pregnant mothers. This we have started very recently in 2019. So we have replaced all TT vaccines with TD vaccines.
Official data on India's immunization coverage still stands at 62% as per the National Family Health Survey 4 of 2015-16. However, the Union Health Ministry's internal data presented recently at the 4th Partners Forum meeting in New Delhi says it stands at 83% with just 2% unimmunized children. This figure is still November 2018. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Ministry of Health launched the intensified Mission Indradhanush or IMI 2.0 across the country on the 2nd of December 2019. The vaccination program under IMI 2.0 was carried out in 4 rounds between December 2019 and March 2020. The mission was launched with an aim to reach out to partially vaccinated and unvaccinated children with all the available vaccines under Universal Immunization Program across 381 districts in 29 states and union territories. The government's flagship scheme is aimed at immunizing children under the age of 2 years and pregnant women against 8 vaccine-preventable diseases. The IMI covers vaccines for diphtheria, whooping cough, tetanus, poliomyelitis, tuberculosis, measles, meningitis, and hepatitis B. Vaccines for Japanese encephalitis and Haemophilus influenza were provided in selected areas. The program was supported by several ministries. Intensified Mission Indradhanush 2.0 gives India the opportunity to achieve further reduction in deaths among children under the age of 5 years and also achieve the Sustainable Development Goal of ending preventable child deaths by the year 2030. Immunization is one of the most cost-effective interventions to prevent the suffering that comes from avoidable sickness, disability, and death. The benefits of immunization are not restricted to improvements in health and life expectancy, but also have the social and economic impact at both the community as well as national levels. Let's look at the history of immunization in India.
Modern immunization developed in India in the 19th century parallel to the Western world. The initial years saw considerable investment in research and development in vaccines, with about 15 vaccine institutes being established in the 1890s. The world's first plague vaccine by Hafkin in 1897 and Manson's development of an indigenous cholera vaccine were the most notable achievements of these institutes. However, the benefits of this early institutionalization did not last long. By the time Indians learned from the Western world, research and technological innovation was sidelined as demands for routine vaccine production took priority. India launched its first vaccine over 50 years ago. The Bacillus calmette-guerin vaccine, a vaccine primarily used against tuberculosis, was launched in 1962 as part of the National Tuberculosis Program, while the expanded program on immunization was launched in 1978. Initially, it included BCG, 3 doses of DPT, and the typhoid vaccine. OPV was added in 1979. In 1985, the program was modified to become the Universal Immunization Program. It was implemented in a phased manner to cover all districts in the country by 1989-1990, with one of the largest health programs in the world. The Universal Immunization Program became a part of the Child Survival and Safe Motherhood Program in 1992. Since 1997, immunization activities have been an important component of National Reproductive and Child Health Program and is currently one of the key areas under the National Health Mission since 2005. The Universal Immunization Program supports national and state governments to boost routine immunization and supplementary immunization, including for polio, measles, and Japanese encephalitis. It also supports the introduction of new vaccines such as pentavalent, hepatitis B, and rubella. Despite being operational for many years, UIP has been able to fully immunize only 65% children in the first year of their life. In 1988, the government committed the nation to the goal of global polio eradication, along with all 192 member nations of the WHO. The Pulse Polio program was started initially in Delhi in 1994 and was extended to the entire country in 1995. In 1994 and 1995, from 1996 onwards, all children up to the age of 5 years are being covered under this program. House-to-house component was added in the year 2000-2001 as a part of intensification of the Pulse Polio program. The National Polio Surveillance Project was launched in 1997 to provide technical and logistic assistance to the government and work closely with the state governments and a broad array of partner agencies to achieve the goal of polio eradication across the nation. The efforts yielded good results. The number of polio cases reduced from about 35,000 in 1994 to just 741 cases in 2009. The last case of polio due to wild virus was reported on 13th January 2011 from West Bengal. India has been polio-free and was removed from the endemic countries list on February 25, 2012 by the WHO.
Immunization is the one thing which can actually the disease can be prevented, rather than once you get the disease and then you go for the treatment. And in the immunization, the children are saved from the infectious disease. Earlier there was a very huge load of infectious diseases. Now you see many of the diseases have become very less incidence. And polio, as I already told you, it has been eliminated from our country and it has been declared polio-free even by WHO. The certificate was given to our health minister in 2014.
Immunization is the process whereby a person is made immune or resistant to an infectious disease, typically by the administration of a vaccine. Vaccines stimulate the body's own immune system to protect the person against subsequent infection or disease. Immunization is a proven tool for controlling and eliminating life-threatening infectious diseases and is estimated to avert between 2 to 3 million deaths each year. It is one of the most cost-effective health investments with proven strategies that make it accessible to even the most hard-to-reach and vulnerable populations. With inputs from Anu Diwan, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.